All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to tackle high performance from a totally different angle. We're going to talk about what it really means to be at your peak by looking at a part of our biology that, let's be honest, most of us only think about when it's screaming for help. So, let's get into it.
So, does this sound familiar to you? You've downloaded all the productivity apps, you've tried the sleep hacks, you've read the books, but you're still just stuck on that same old roller coaster, pounding caffeine to get going and then hitting that wall in the afternoon. It's exhausting, right?
You know, the issue is that most of the advice out there for high achievers really just scratches the surface. It's all about managing your time or popping a supplement. But what if the real problem is way deeper? The disconnect is huge. We're told to find these quick fixes, but the things that are actually draining our energy are things like eating at random times or being so stressed out our body literally can't digest properly.
And that brings us to the core idea here. We have to completely reframe this conversation. This is not some fluffy wellness topic. We're talking about a real, strategic business advantage.
So let's just redefine this. Think about your digestive health as a performance strategy. Because when your digestion is optimized, the results are things you can actually measure. Steadier energy all day, thinking more clearly, and bouncing back faster from intense periods of work. That is a serious competitive edge.
And we're talking about super practical outcomes here. I mean, think about it. Fewer or even no afternoon crashes, which means your focus just stays locked in. You recover faster from those marathon work sessions. You're less reactive, more level-headed in those high-stakes meetings. This isn't abstract stuff. It changes how effective you are, day in and day out.
Okay, so that's the what. But you're probably wondering, how do you actually do this without completely blowing up your life? Well, that's where the RootWell method comes into play. Let's take a look. Now, this is not about some extreme, unsustainable diet. The RootWell approach is this really cool blend. It takes thousands of years of ancient Ayurvedic wisdom about digestion, mixes it with what we know now about modern habit design, and turns it into something a busy person can actually stick with.
And it all boils down to these 5 core principles. It's about rhythm over restriction, which basically means when you eat can be even more important than what you eat. It's about being mindful about your fuel, managing stress so your body can actually do its job, and building these tiny little micro habits that only take like 3 to 5 minutes. It's all about being practical and making it work for you.
Okay, now for the really good part. This isn't just a bunch of theory. There's a real concrete plan here that feels totally doable.
Here's the roadmap. It's a 4-week starter program built for busy people. You can see the progression is super clear. You start by creating a stable foundation, then you nourish, then you strengthen, and finally, you optimize everything for the long haul. So week 1 is just about stabilization. And notice how small these actions are. We're talking start your day with warm water and just 1 minute of deep breathing. Find a consistent lunch window where you put your devices away. That's it. We're just building a simple rhythm. Then in week 2, we start to focus on nourishment. This doesn't mean you have to change your entire diet. It can be as simple as swapping one heavy meal for something warm and easy to digest, like a soup or a grain bowl. And then maybe trying a quick 5-minute walk right after you eat. Simple stuff. By week 3, we're ready to strengthen the whole system. A lot of this is about supporting your nervous system, like adding a 10-minute screen-free wind-down before bed. It's just about creating the right environment for your body to rest and repair itself properly. And finally, week 4 is all about optimization. This is where you look back and see what actually worked for you. You pick the 3 habits that made the biggest difference, and you literally schedule them into your calendar. This is how these tiny changes become automatic, long-term routines. So, the big question. Does this stuff actually work in the real world? You know, with deadlines and nonstop meetings? Well, let's look at the impact. This quote from a founder is just so powerful. This guy was basically living on espresso and takeout, and after just a few weeks of tiny changes, he said he wasn't working any less. The key is he was performing better within the exact same demanding schedule. And that's really the whole point. And this creates this amazing ripple effect. For you, personally, it means things like steady concentration and more emotional bandwidth to handle stress. But for your organization, that translates directly to more focus from your team, fewer sick days, and a culture where high performance is actually sustainable, instead of just a fast track to burnout. So, if you're feeling inspired, the key is to just start small. Let's make this ridiculously easy. You don't have to do all this at once. Just pick one thing. Okay, option 1. Simply start your day with a glass of warm water. It is such a gentle way to wake up your digestive system before the chaos of the day kicks in. Seriously, it takes 30 seconds. Or how about this one? For just one meal today, put your phone away. A device-free lunch lets your nervous system switch into rest and digest mode. That means you'll actually absorb more energy from your food and you'll feel way better afterward.
And option 3, a short 5-minute walk right after your main meal. This is a classic trick that has a massive impact on stopping that dreaded post-lunch energy slump.
So, I'll just leave you with this question. Forget about trying to overhaul your entire life overnight. Looking at these simple, powerful habits, what is the one small change you'll commit to this week to start building your own unique performance advantage?